Before we dive into today's story, I want to take a moment to thank Sarah for bravely sharing her experience with us. Stories like hers remind us that relationships are complex, filled with both incredible highs and devastating lows. If you have a story of your own that you'd like to share, please send it to the email provided in the description below. I would love to hear your own experiences, and they may even be made into a video just like this one. And if you find value in these heartfelt stories, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support means the world to me. Anyways, let's get into the story. Sarah and Mike were the couple everyone admired. For 5 years, their relationship was filled with love, laughter, and dreams of a future together. They seemed to have it all. Shared memories that could warm even the coldest of hearts, and a bond that appeared unbreakable. But as with all things that seemed too good to be true, there were hidden cracks beneath the surface. Cracks that neither of them had noticed until it was almost too late. What began as an innocent, beautiful love story was about to be tested in ways Sarah could never have imagined. Everything changed with a single text. Sarah was enjoying a quiet evening at home when her phone buzzed with a message that made her heart skip a beat. The words on the screen sent a chill down her spine. "Who's the girl Mike's been seeing?" In that moment, her world was turned upside down. Could this be some kind of cruel joke, or was it the first sign of a betrayal she had never seen coming? The doubt began to creep in, sowing seeds of mistrust that threatened to unravel everything they had built together. As the doubts gnawed at her, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. The text had opened a floodgate of questions, and with each passing moment, her unease grew. That night, as Mike returned home, Sarah's heart pounded with a mix of fear and determination. She knew she couldn't let this suspicion fester any longer. She had to confront him, no matter how painful the truth might be. The air in the room was thick with tension, the kind that precedes a storm. And then, the moment of truth arrived. A moment that would forever alter the course of their relationship. As Sarah pressed for answers, Mike's initial denials began to crumble. The guilt that had been lurking in the shadows finally came to light, as Mike confessed to crossing a line he had never meant to approach. He had let himself get too close to someone else, blurring the boundaries of their commitment. In that instant, the trust that Sarah had so deeply cherished was shattered, leaving her with a heart full of pain and a mind racing with questions. Sarah's world collapsed in that single moment of betrayal. The man she had trusted, the man she had loved with all her heart, had broken the bond they had spent years building. The pain was overwhelming, a deep, gnawing ache that consumed her every thought. The storm outside seemed to mirror the chaos within her, as if nature itself was reflecting the turmoil of her soul. Mike's attempts to explain and apologize fell on deaf ears. The betrayal was too fresh, too raw. The foundation of their relationship, once so strong, was now cracked and fragile. As Mike walked out the door, the weight of his actions bore down on both of them. Sarah watched him leave, her vision blurred by tears, her heart heavy with the crushing reality of what had just happened. The future they had so carefully planned together now seemed like a distant, unreachable dream. The love that had once brought her so much joy was now the source of her deepest pain. In the silence that followed his departure, she was left alone with her thoughts, questioning everything she had once believed to be true. In the days that followed, Sarah was surrounded by friends who tried to lift her spirits, to help her find some semblance of normalcy in the wake of her heartbreak. They took her out, distracted her with laughter and light-hearted moments, but the sadness lingered in her eyes. She was trying to move forward, but the weight of the past still hung heavily on her shoulders. Despite their best efforts, the pain of betrayal was a shadow that followed her everywhere she went. One afternoon, while Sarah was lost in her thoughts at a cozy cafe, a chance encounter would begin to change everything. As she tried to focus on her book, her emotions getting the better of her, a man named James entered the cafe. He noticed the sadness in her eyes, the way she was struggling to hold herself together. Though they had never met, something compelled him to sit nearby, offering her the silent support of a stranger. What neither of them knew was that this simple act of kindness would be the start of something unexpected. James didn't know Sarah's story, but he could sense that she was carrying a heavy burden. With a gentle smile, he struck up a conversation, starting with something as simple as the book she was reading. At first, Sarah was hesitant, her guard still up from the recent heartbreak, but there was something about James that put her at ease. As they talked, the conversation flowed more naturally, and soon they were both smiling, sharing stories, and finding comfort in each other's company. For the first time in weeks, Sarah felt a glimmer of hope. Perhaps not all was lost. As they exchanged numbers and parted ways, she couldn't help but feel that this was the beginning of something new, something that might finally help her heal. In the weeks that followed, Sarah and James grew closer. What started as a simple conversation in a cafe blossomed into a connection that neither had expected. They spent time together, enjoying long walks, deep talks, and the simple joys of each other's company. For Sarah, this new relationship was a breath of fresh air, a chance to start over, to rediscover the happiness she thought she had lost. With James, she felt understood, cherished, and most importantly, hopeful. The scars of her past were still there, but they were beginning to heal, and with each passing day, her smile grew more genuine, her laughter more frequent. This was a new beginning, one she never saw coming, but one that felt right in every way. Sarah's journey shows that even after heartbreak, there's always hope for a fresh start. What would you do in her situation? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more stories like this. And if you have a story to share, send it to the email in the description. We'd love to hear it.